Steve Hanley. How are you going, buddy?
Hey, bro. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. And welcome.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy. I suppose you're locked down, same as the rest of us. But yeah, man, how's things going at your end?
Yeah, good. It's a little weird, I mean, this is the first time I haven't worked in 20 plus years, so it's a bit weird sitting at home, sort of wondering what the next day is going to bring, but it's strange times, man, but it is what it is, so yeah.
I was about to say, as far as I remember, you're a dad to a couple of pretty energetic kids, so I suppose they're probably keeping you busy at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at handball now, and it's been good, man. So it's been good. The homeschooling thing sort of, I guess, takes a bit of pressure off, like with them doing the schoolwork and stuff for a good portion of the day when school's back, obviously. But over the holidays, man, it's handball, it's art, it's whatever they want to do. So it's been a bit full on, but it's good fun. So
do you know all the lyrics to the new Frozen song yet?
Well, it's funny you say that. We had the kids' radio turned on today. The kids worked out what station that was and worked out how to put that on the radio. So we've had all sorts today, man. So yeah, it won't be long now before I'll be a full bottle on the old Frozen scene, I would imagine.
Well, that's good. Well, I suppose that's some pretty good tattoo music as well. By the time you come back to the studio,
that's it.
Turn all the good old Disney classics.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Excellent. Well, again, look, as I started out by saying, I obviously met you as the Steve Hanley, the tattoo artist, Mr. Two Shirts from Youngbloods in Rockingham. But could you maybe take us back a little bit further back and sort of like where did everything sort of start to begin with? Like obviously the passion for tattoos. We can try and go a bit further back later, but I'm really curious to see how sort of the passion for tattooing starts.
Well, it was always something. Tattooing was never really on my radar at all. To be honest, it was never really something I thought about at all, really. I mean, I had a tattoo, and that was about the extent of it, really. And it was I used to have another business where I was installing big custom fish tanks in commercial buildings and high-rise apartments and luxury homes and that sort of thing. And the tattoo shop that turned into Youngbloods rang me because they were fitting out a new store and they wanted a big saltwater fish tank in there. So I went down there and I measured it up and I did all that and I put the fish tank in there and I used to look after them as well. So I was in there every week, cleaning it, looking after it, doing the water, everything that a fish tank takes, and it just seemed like a good environment. There was people, that everybody was friendly. I remember there was one guy riding a skateboard. There was another guy playing a guitar, and I was thinking, man, like, this is cool. Why am I here cleaning fish shit? Like. Why aren't I here, tattooing and stuff like that? And it really wasn't until then that I sort of started thinking about it. Like I knew I had a passion, I guess. No, I wouldn't even say a passion. I knew I had a bit of an ability to draw, but nothing. It used to really frustrate me. Like it used to, what I would see in my head, I couldn't put down on paper, and it was something that I never really. I never really wanted to pursue it because it used to just frustrate me too much. And like, I could draw things, but everything was realistic. Like there was no such thing as like a cartoon or if you drew a rose, it had to look like a rose that you'd see in a garden. And so I never really knew much about drawing, art, anything like that until I sort of thought, yeah, this would be a cool job. I know I can draw. And then, yeah, like I kind of, that was kind of where it all started for me, was was I guess doing the fish tanks, and just I think if it wasn't for that shop, I would never have done it. Like it was something that if it wasn't there, it wouldn't have been anywhere else, you know. So,
right.
And I think it was just because I was comfortable with the people there. Like I knew the people. I knew I knew the environment. I knew kind of what I was in for. Everybody seemed friendly and nice, and you know, like I said, it was cool. They were riding skateboards, they were playing guitars, you know, and it was like, man, like, you know, here I am, like dealing with rich assholes up in the city every day. Like I could be here doing this, you know, and that was really where it started. Like that was, you know, I was messing around sort of one day with the boss man there, and I sort of said, you know, oh, when are you going to give me a chair, you know, and you know, he sort of said, well, can you draw, you know, like can you know, are you able to draw, you know, what's the deal? And I sort of thought, well, I'll put something together and I'll try. And you know, I put things together like which I thought you would see as tattoos. Like I remember the first thing I think I ever drew was like a Hanley mask, and you know, it was that. And I mean, looking back on it now, they were rubbish, bro. Like they were absolute. But you know, I mean, it was a first go after, you know, 15, 20 years of not even picking up a pencil or anything, you know. So, but yeah, you know, I put enough together to sort of to show these guys, I guess, that I sort of could draw, and I sort of had the ability and to do it. And I guess that's where it all started. I guess that's, you know, they sort of said, yeah, well, you know, if you want an apprenticeship, we'd be happy to sort of take you on. And I didn't have to go through any of the application stage. I didn't have to go through sitting at the studio and drawing pictures that they told me to draw. Like, you know, there was none of that. It was kind of just I guess I kind of got led in the back door, you know, like it was kind of, we know who you are. We've seen your stuff on Facebook. We'd be happy to take you on, you know. So I guess that was really how I got into it, you know, which kind of fell into it more than anything, you know. But I mean, man, like honestly, like it's been the best thing ever. Like, you know, it's so rewarding in a way, like giving somebody a tattoo and they leave and they say thank you, you know, like, and it was never like that with any other business that I've had or worked in or anything like that. It's always been like, you know, why aren't you doing this? Why can't you be here? Or why aren't you, you know, and it was never that. And that was the biggest reward for me. Like, even as an apprentice, you know, like, even if I wasn't tattooing them and I was just working the front counter, people would say, you know, thanks, man. Thanks, you know, thanks for getting us in and all that. And like, I don't know, everything just seemed to fit, you know, like it just seemed to fit my personality and fit what I expected of people. And yeah, it was just like that. And it was, like I said, it was just a cool environment to be in, and it was better than sitting in my hot ass car driving around the city all day, you know. So that was really all sort of began, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How long ago is this? So when did you do your first tattoo? Like your first proper? Or?
Well, my first proper tattoo, I probably did. It depends what day you ask me, man. Like some days I say 5 years, some days I say 6 years, you know. So it was somewhere in between then, you know. So
all right.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot before doing your first tattoo, you know. Like I mean, I sat at the studio drawing pictures and setting up stations and breaking down stations and basically being a shit kicker for, you know, 12 months before I even picked up a tattoo machine to even tattoo a pigskin, you know. So you know, there was a fair bit of I don't know what you'd call it, but you've got to build up, you've got to get the trust of the artists before they will let you tattoo, because it's not an apprenticeship as such. It's you're a shit kicker until somebody says otherwise, you know. So that's what it is, you know. It's not a recognized apprenticeship. It's just showing that you want it, you know. Like it's if you sit out the front and you're drawing all day and your head's down and you're on your phone and whatever else, nobody's going to show you anything. You'll sit out the front, you'll be an apprentice for the next 15 years, you know, because nobody thinks you're passionate about whatever. But for me, I was like, I'd lost a lot of income to come and do this apprenticeship. So I was like, man, I need to start, you know, getting some money back in, you know, and it wasn't really about the money, but it was also a passion of like, I always want to know why things do what they do and how they do it, you know. So I would hound, there was two boys in particular, and I would hound them, like, why does this do that? Why does it do this? You know, like, who's this person? Why do they do it like that? To the point of where they'd say, look, shut up, man, and just go back out the front, you know, like, because it was, you know, but it showed that I was super keen. And
yeah,
you know, it got to a point of where they would say, look, we know you can draw, so just, you know, come out the back, sit with us and watch us, start learning the art of tattooing, you know, like, you know, we know you can do everything out the front. And so that's kind of where it progressed to out the back. And, you know, then you do your pig skins, which I think I did sort of about 12 months in. Pick a design, you know, you start with the basics, you start with the line works, you know, like, I think the first thing I ever did was a Japanese koi fish, like, just with all the scales and everything like that. And I remember being super bummed about, like, how that turned out, you know, because I was kind of, it was a lot different. It was kind of like painting with a pen, where the ink runs out and you've got to keep going back. And like, I remember just being super bummed about how that turned out. But I actually look back on it now in Facebook memories, and I'm like, it wasn't so bad, you know, like, it was actually all right. So, but yeah, you know, you start with the pigskins, and then for me, it was, you know, they sort of said, because I wasn't heavily tattooed, I guess, they sort of said, you know, you've got to tattoo yourself, which I did, and that was an experience, I tell you that. Like, I remember, like, my hands, like, you know, like, just shaking away, man, you know, like, and I was just thinking, just do it, bro, just do it. And, you know, it turned out absolute rubbish, but you know, it was a good experience, because it taught me a lot of what not to do, you know.
Yeah, right.
So it was good in that fact that, yeah, I would rather it have happened to me than on somebody else, you know. So
yeah.
that was a big that was a big learning curve, actually. But that was cool, man. Like, I remember I worked that tattoo so hard that all the ink fell out, man. So I ended up doing it when I was a qualified artist. I went back and redid it, and it's still rubbish, but, you know, it's better than what it was. So, but yeah, that was probably, yeah, I reckon that was probably a good 5 or 6 years ago. I reckon that sort of kicked off. So, yeah.
Far out. It's like, I must admit, for someone who's only been doing for 5 years, like, you've come a long way, man. You picked up a couple of big prizes at the last tattoo convention in Perth as well.
Yeah, I did. It's I think I got four of the awards at the tattoo convention last year. I was really stoked to get one of them, because I've been working on this guy's leg for a long time. Like, Rob, he's one of my best clients. You know, the most chill dude you'd ever meet. Like, just pretty much gives me free reign to do whatever I want, no questions asked, you know. And it's like, yeah, like I said, it's so chill. But we worked on his leg for so long, and I mean, there was a lot of piss farting around in there as well. Like, you know, like, we talk shit and, you know, whatever, half the day, and then, you know, tattoo. And a lot of the times I'd be out, you know, dropping my car off to get serviced, and he'd be waiting back at the shop, you know. So there was a lot of messing around, but, you know, it took a long time, and I was stoked to get that, because I think it really, not just for me, but for Rob as well, you know, because he committed to that tattoo from day one, you know, didn't miss a session, nothing, like, just absolute commitment, 100% commitment, straight down the line, never batted an eyelid at the design that I had, nothing, just solid. And then, yeah, like, it was just such I was actually a bit bummed to have finished it, actually, because it was something I always looked forward to. You know, like I looked forward to the Mondays that he came in and that we got to do it and, you know, talk shit and draw crazy cartoons on his leg. You know, so yeah, but yeah, I got that award, which was the best large colour, I think, or was it? Yeah, I think it was best large colour, and then I think I picked up best small colour again on another really rad client of mine, Sue. Again, just lets me pretty much do what I want, or comes at me with an idea and just says, "Hey, you do you." So that was cool to pick that one up. I actually got runner-up tattoo of the day with the tattoo that I did on her as well on the actual, I think it was the Friday night, or the Friday. So we got that, and then and Rob let me freehand a little emu export can on his leg on which we got best freehand for as well. So it was stoked, man. I was stoked. So it was good. It was good, man. It was good to get that recognition back for the shop. More than anything, because the year before we didn't get any awards, and the boys still do. Don't get me wrong, but there was a point there where, you know, the awards were going to Youngbloods. You know, that was it. You know, we were taking, you know, and it was good to get that back. You know, I got the 4. I think one of the other boys, Keegan, got 2, and then maybe 2. And I think Kim got 1, or vice versa. I'm not too sure, but I think we took 7 away all up, which was awesome, man. You know, so it was good team effort. You know, so yeah.
I'm just scrolling through your photos here on your Facebook page, and yeah, there's some crazy good stuff in here. I got one of those beautiful, I think it's one of those filters of yourself with like all the flowers up the top.
Oh yeah, classic.
But
the jigsaws that I've got coming out soon.
yeah.
Man, I was a mess.
I was about to say, but yeah, you've done some of your drawing books and stuff. We'll get back to that. I think I found that lake you were talking about with all the small bits and pieces. Yeah, that looks crazy good.
Yeah, crazy. It was a deal that I put up for anybody to get on, actually. Like I had a bit of a shoe collection, to be honest, and I just said, like, you know, if anybody lets me tattoo what I want on them, it'll only cost them a pair of shoes per session. So that was the deal.
So
I ended up with a shit ton of shoes, and like Rob ended up with a cool leg. So yeah, it was.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Good stuff, man. So out of that, so you're now a part owner of the studio, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So how did that happen? So obviously, so if you just like literally, if you came down there 5-6 years ago, put up a fish tank, and now you own the shit, or some of it anyway.
I mean, I've always sort of been that way. Like I've never liked working for anyone. You know, like it's. I've always thought that why am I working for someone? Why can't I be working for myself? You know, so. That was a big part of it. The tattoo industry is very hard to get into, in that sense that of ownership. So there was just a point there where the old owner was basically looking to get out or expand or something like that. And I said, hey, look, you know, I'd be interested. And yeah, there was talks back and forth of like another shop, like opening up another shop, and I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to start a shop from scratch and have nothing. You know, like that was, to me, that was shooting yourself in the foot. You know, like it was. At that time, the shop was named Sinister Inc. and it had the reputation, like it had a good reputation, good artists. And I didn't want to leave that either, you know, like it was just something that was already in place. And I basically said to him, look, get me some numbers. He came back with a figure which I thought was fair and he thought was fair. And that was really it, man. And one of the other boys down there, Jackson, me and him talked about it, and then at the time he had an apprentice, Keegan, and basically all us three just sort of came together and said, yeah, well, look, we'll all kick in a third each, and we'll do this, So that was basically it, man. It was just sort of came about through conversation, really, like of me saying that I was interested in buying, So and that was really it, It was a good deal for him, good deal for us.
That's awesome.
We work for ourselves, man. So it's all good. So yeah.
So how many years ago is this that you took part ownership or we took over the shop?
Probably, I think we took it over in July, August of 2008. Oh no, sorry, 2018. I'm not too sure, man. I think it's about 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
3 years. So might have been 20. Oh, I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. But yeah, roughly about 3 years, man. So yeah, yep. I'd say that's probably how long we've had it for. So yeah, it was pretty quick from just starting work there to taking it over, But like I said, it's everything I've done's always been like that, Like I've always thought to myself, like, how can I, I've never, like I said before, like I like getting to know how things work and how they run, and it keeps me interested, and it's at the time that I started working there, I was running a pretty successful business as well. So when you go from running, I suppose, your own business to working for somebody, it kind of does feel like a bit of a step back, like that you're not calling the shots and you're not making the decisions that affect your life, So
yeah.
That's a big thing for me, Like I started my first business because out of necessity, like my wife was pregnant, and I was working at a shit job with crappy money, minimum wage, and I just thought, man, like I can't make this work. I can't, work this shitty job with minimum wage and make ends meet, So that's what drove me to start my first business. And I mean, it's all about what you put in, man. You put the time in, you put the effort in, and you get rewarded for that, So yeah, I just think that was a big driving force behind why I wanted to own it. Just so I could, not just for me, but for everybody else, like make the calls and try and make the decisions that would benefit everybody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like it's never really been a money thing. It's more just trying to run things how I think they should be run. Like it's, yeah, I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and I think that's what gets me motivated to do it. I think that, I don't even know. Like, I think it's just that relying on yourself to be the provider.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah, like I said, you try and you run the shop. I mean, I don't do the shop now. I mean, I don't do a lot of the. Well, basically, I don't do anything in terms of ordering and things like that. But it's good. It is good to know that we're never without something that we need, or everything's run how it should be run. But yeah, I think that's what drove us to really get in there and sort of want to buy it. Was just that looking after ourselves and looking after our mates as they should be looked after, So.
But again, like tattoos, sort of in general, I suppose they sort of have, like every time people would get a tattoo, and I'm sure you know a lot more about this and can tell a lot more stories. But every time people get a tattoo, it's usually it's a big thing. Like it's something. It's on you. It's permanent. It's a lot of people get it for to remember something or to have a memory, and other people like your friend he gets a whole leg and pays you back in shoes, so he gets a lot of fun stuff out of it. But like in general, like for myself as well, it's like you usually connected with not only the experience, but also like it usually has a reason why people get certain tattoos.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, like there are a lot that come in to get tattoos with meanings. There definitely a lot of people do. Me personally, I don't. I like tattoos because I like the look of them. Like I like, you know, like none of my tattoos mean anything. And I'm all right with that because I think for me, I change my mind too often, and I think that what might mean something to me today might mean nothing to me tomorrow. You know, so I think that's where I would get a bit like, oh, why did I get that? You know, or you know, I actually look back at what tattoos I was going to get when I was younger, and I'm thinking, thank fuck I didn't get them, man. Like, you know, because there'd be a lot of cover-ups involved, bro. But yeah, I think you know, like people do. I think people do need closure on certain issues, man. Like, you know, if somebody dies, you know, like there's a lot of memorial pieces, man. You know, like everybody gets a memorial piece, but I think, you know, like I think there are a lot that do it for, you know, memories and sentimental type deals, man. But you do get the ones that just come in and just get random tattoos, man. You know, which are always fun, bro, because they're just random as hell, bro. You know, like it's just, yeah.
What's some of the weirdest stuff you've done? Like,
man,
tell us some of the weirdest stuff, man.
Oh man, I had one guy come in and he had this gnarly vein in his arm, and it was like spaghetti under his skin. This vein, like it was crazy, and he wanted a shadow underneath all of the vein, so it looked like a snake was in his arm, and we ended up doing that and putting a little face on the end of the vein, and that was weird. He was stoked. He was stoked with the tattoo, man. But I was like, this is fucking weird. What else? Like my mate Al, he's always good for getting some weird shit. Like I remember doing a cartoon version of a redneck sperm flipping some eggs with a fry pan. Yeah, man. You know, there's some strange ones, bro, but I think those two are probably the weirdest. I've done a vagina and crossbones on a guy's wrist, which I didn't ask questions, I just did it. Yeah, there's some weird ones, man. But in all honesty, the weirdest ones I've done are probably on Rob, my mate, like because he's just like I said, he's down for anything. So all my weird little creatures that I think up in my head, you know, they go on his leg, you know, and that was cool. I mean, nothing too weird with that, but you know, there's fish which are half pigs and half fish, and you know, like weird stuff like that. But yeah, I think the snake arm guy was definitely crazy. Yeah, he was out there, bro. So, but he was stoked, man. So you know what do you do? So you know, got to keep him happy, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say you posted a couple of different ones. You know, sort of shows what you get for a cheap tattoo and a good tattoo. There's some good there as well.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's always what you pay for, bro. It's even I was actually thinking about this today. I was seeing some tattoos online today when I was just flicking through Instagram, and you know, you pay for what you get, man. Like. It's the old saying, man, like cheap tattoos aren't good and good tattoos aren't cheap, you know? So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely that, you know? So I think it's always something where you've got to pick your artist before you pick your price, man. You know, it's, you know, get something that you like, you know, like you might not be the best artist around, but you might be doing something insane that nobody else is doing, you know, and people might flock to you for that, you know, and I think that's the best thing. Pick your artist before you pick your price. You know, it's on you forever. You're going to be stuck with it. You might go down to old, you know, Dick's tattoo shed down the road and pick up a tattoo for $100 and, you know, save yourself $400. And then in 2 years' time, you're not even going to remember what you spent that $400 on, but you're going to be looking at Dick's piece of shit work for forever. So
yeah, that's it.
I think it's just one of those things, man. Like you've just got to pick what's right for you. You know, yeah, there's no right or wrong. If you think it's sick, then go to that artist. It's as simple as that, really. So.
Well, I suppose another good thing that you guys got going for is the actual vibe in the studio. Like once you come in, it's a big open room. It's a really really good atmosphere. There's always some cool music playing,
Yeah,
and there's always happy people.
yeah, definitely.
Um, it's so
Yeah,
it's certainly a place that you feel like you want to come back to.
yeah, 100%.
Um,
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing, man. Like, I mean, getting tattooed is a big thing for some people. Like you're in pain. There's no two ways about it. Tattoos hurt. Tattoos suck. There's no two ways about it. And if you're in a dingy ass room with somebody that's not talking to you, and someone's smoking a meth pipe out the back, man, like you're not going to get back, bro. I think you need that. You need that atmosphere. The atmosphere is a massive part. Like, I mean, I know for me personally, like I would want to go to a studio like ours because it's cool. The music's cool. Everybody's just giving each other shit, man. Like ripping on each other. It's fun. It makes it fun. You can have a laugh. You can listen to cool music. You can talk shit with your artist. Like it's cool. And that's the good thing about our shop, which I'm really stoked on myself, is that everybody's like a family. Like we're all like family. We all kind of look out for each other, and if somebody's down or whatever, like I'm probably the worst person for it, but you can go to them and say, hey, what's up, and we all give a shit about each other. There's no negative vibes. There's no negativity in the shop, which is fantastic. Like going to work is a pleasure. It's like going to work with 14 of your mates. So it's
yeah.
And I think that definitely comes through when you're getting tattooed, and I think that's a big deal. Like I think because even other people's clients get to know you as well. And even though you've never spoken to them, you've never tattooed them before, you don't know them from a bar of soap, they'll always, say, hey man, how's it going? Or, they get to know your name and things like that. And it is because of that environment that where you can joke and they kind of get to know your personality before they get to know you, I guess, So it's good, man. I really like that about our shop, is that everybody's really tight, man. Like there's no bitchiness, there's no backstabbing, everybody's really cool, man. That's really, it's good, man. It's refreshing,
Yep.
So, yeah.
I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time, but I've always forgotten, where's that Two-Shirt name? Where did that come from? How did that become your artist name?
I wear 2 shirts, bro. That's it. That's it. That's it.
I hope there's going to be like a big deep meaning behind it, man.
Everybody's always let down, man. Everybody's always let down when I tell them, So, but no, that's it. I wear 2 shirts every day of my life since I was 13, man. So that's it.
That's it.
That's it. 2 shirts, So
couldn't be.
I was actually wearing 1 shirt today, and Kirsty said to me, "Why are you only wearing 1 shirt?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, Steph's going to ask me about that too, so I better go put another shirt on."
So, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why, man. It was something I started when I was a kid. I think I was a skinny little kid, man. I felt maybe 2 shirts made me look a bit bigger, so I think that's probably where it came from. Now that I'm fatter, it just makes me look fatter, So,
oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Actually, take us back to that. When you were younger. So you say you were a skinny kid. How was Steve as a kid?
Shy, quiet, didn't say boo to a ghost. Yeah, man, I was very, I was quiet, man. I was a quiet kid, like, hung out, I had my core little group of mates and stuff like that, but, just a sketchy little weird kid, man, like I was always into skating. I was always into surfing, and that was about it, just had the core little crew, and that was about it. Even through high school, man, I was a pretty quiet kid, like was never big on you know, on partying or anything like that. Yeah, always just like sort of keeping to myself, you know, getting on my skateboard and riding my skateboard all day and all night and going surfing. And yeah, you know, like never really, I don't know, you know, just did what a normal kid did, but didn't really go out my bubble too much, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man, you know. So yeah.
I'm wearing 2 shirts.
You're wearing 2 shirts, man, always trying to look bigger.
And that's I think at some point as well you told me that you were in a band as well when you were a bit older.
Yeah, I've been in a few bands actually. Yeah, like the one I was telling you about was a punk band that we were in. 3 Foot Arnold was our name. Yeah, good times, man. Good times, good memories, eh? Like it was just good fun, you know, hanging with the boys every week and, you know, smashing out some tunes, you know. It was good fun. So yeah.
How long did that go for? Was that like what age period was that?
Man, I think we started. Man, this is testing the memory. I think it was about 97 or 98 that we started. I think because I think I was out of school for a year or 2, man. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think it was about 97, 98 maybe. And we were together for 3 or 4, 5 years. I don't even know, man. Like it was a while, you know. Like we were all mates. Like I mean, me and Al, we were mates all through school. So he picked up a bass guitar, I picked up a guitar, and we sort of just, you know, he was living with me at one point, and we'd just sit in the end room and just jam, you know. And we started our first little band after that, which was funny, man. That was funny. It was a, I don't even know what you'd call it, bro. It was like a hybrid Smashing Pumpkins. I don't even know. It was just a weird little concept, little niche type thing. And we were listening to a lot of Deftones. We were listening to a lot of Smashing Pumpkins. Tool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, all good stuff.
Kind of drew off that. It didn't reflect our talent at all. Like we were listening to it and we were trying to play it, but it's like one of those memes you see, like, you know, your expectation versus
yeah.
That's what it was like. But no, it was fun, man. It was fun. We did a few house parties with that, man. I think we recorded a cassette even back then. Like so, yeah. But that was. And then we sort of we all parted ways, man. Nothing negative. We just had enough of that sort of thing and moved on. And me and Al started this punk band, and yeah, that was cool. He sort of knew the guitarist, and then we advertised for a drummer. We got a drummer. All became mates, skated together, hung out, played played music. Yeah, good times, man. Good times, you know. Like I think at one point we were doing a couple of gigs a week around the city and around Rocco and things like that. You know, we did some skate park gigs. Yeah, it was good fun, man. It was good fun, you know. Recorded a song for this. The local Rockingham Council funded this CD, and we did a song. And you know, we our first song they actually came back and said if we put that on the record, they're going to pull the funding. So we kind of had to go back. We had to go back in and record another one. But yeah,
is that available somewhere? Like
probably not, man. Probably not. I think that's funny. I was buried somewhere under piles of something, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's I'm sure somebody's got a copy of it somewhere, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that would be or where, but yeah, no, it was fun, man. It was good fun, you know. Like it was that's what it was about. It was about having fun, man. You know, like we used to play the nightclubs, like local rocky nightclubs and stuff like that, man, and you know the pub and stuff, and it was just good. It was just good getting together, man, and you know. The other local bands we were all mates with as well, so yeah, it was just good times, man. Just, you know,
yeah.
It was an excuse to go out and just have a good time, man. You know, and yeah, it was fun. It was
But
fun.
with the mindset you were just talking about before, about always sort of wanting to try and excel and be sort of same as what you said you had with your fish tank business and your
Yeah.
tattoo business. You never felt the same way about music, that you wanted
Uh, I think
to
I
sort
had
of.
the dream more than anything. Like, I mean, it's everybody's dream, man, to be a rock star. Like that's everybody's dream. But I think there was definitely other things there, man. Like our guitarist, he was studying to be an engineer, so it was something that his music was second for him. It was his hobby, so it was never going to take over what he did for his life, whereas I think that was definitely the same with a couple of the other boys as well. And it was more, for me, it was more of a hobby. It was more just something to do. It
Yep.
was like when you skate all day and then it was something to do at night. Like, and yeah, it was fun. It was just a bit of fun. I think like the dream was always there, man. Like it was always, hey, if we make it, we make it. But it was never sort of something that we pushed for. Like it was never, we didn't. I guess it was harder too back then, man. It was a different
It
time.
was for sure. Yeah.
It was a different time. It was, I think if you were getting radio play back then, you'd made it. But there was really only one. I mean, it was Triple J. Like that was, if you had, I guess for bands like us, which were punk bands or not radio bands. You know what I mean? Like not bands that you'd hear on commercial radio. That was your thing, and there was only one person doing it. There was one person that was taking all the CDs and everything like that. And if you weren't getting played on the radio, nobody knew who you were. There was no other way of getting it out there. The internet didn't exist. SoundCloud and all this stuff that we have today, like,
Yeah.
wasn't there. So, and I guess a lot was word of mouth back then too. Like, oh, I saw this band and they were cool, and then, their mates would come to your show and then they'd tell a few more of their mates, and then you'd slowly get a little bit of a following. But, it wasn't as easy as clicking a button to share it, like, and all of a sudden you've got an audience because you've hit share on a video that you posted online, so yeah, it was a lot harder back then. And I think it was, I think it just seemed like too much hard work, for what we were. And I guess being a punk band as well, like there was always that stigma of like selling out, like you didn't, like underground was cool, like that was,
Yeah.
let's stay underground, and just do our thing, otherwise you're a sellout, and I guess it's kid mentality, man. Like it was the mentality of 18-year-olds, like just, yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah. You don't know any better when you're when you're 18. Yeah.
it just didn't know. We didn't know any better. The outlets were hard to get into, and to be honest, we were just having fun, man. We were just out there, playing shows like just to kids and people that just wanted to jump around, man. And that was, we thought it was cool, and that was, if you got a bit of money here and there, or you got a bar tab somewhere, wicked, So,
Yeah, that's it.
but yeah, no, it was fun, man. It was good times. Yeah, like I said, it was a whole different era, man. It was, Jesus, that was 20 years ago, man. So it was a long time ago now, but it was good. It was good fun, man. It was good fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, playing in a band is a terrible business.
Well,
you certainly don't do that for the money. It's for the lifestyle. Yeah.
So,
for the passion.
Yeah, it's just something that I just, man, I envy the people that have that passion, like that really have that drive to go and play a show day in, day out, get paid minimal money, and then drive 4 hours to the next show, man. Like it's a hard gig, man. Like, you know, I follow a lot of people, a lot of local guys now, which, you know, have been around for a long time, and they're still just playing songs in their lounge rooms, recording them on little, you know, 8 tracks, and I don't even know the terminology for it now, man. But, you know, recording them on these little home studios and putting stuff out to Spotify. But, you know, the money, it's never going to be there for them to live on, you know. But the passion's there, you know. They because they love it, man. You know, it just wasn't. I guess for me, I wasn't that into it. I wasn't that driven, you know. Like it was. Yeah, it was just something that I couldn't commit to something like that, you know. Like I've got to see the reward, you know. It's got to be bigger than, I don't know, man, sitting in a sweaty ass bus with 5 stinking dudes for 5 hours traveling, you know. Like it's, you know.
But at the same time, it's also crazy to think that, you know, all the massive bands that, like you were talking about Tool before, and, you know, Tool, Smashing Pumpkins, you know, when you hear about Metallica, you know, Rolling Stones, Ozzy Osbourne, all those guys started by driving around in a shitty little van. And
especially too those older bands, man. Like, you know, I remember I had a Smashing Pumpkins VHS cassette, and like it had, you know, there was Billy Corgan and James Iha playing on this wall on a sidewalk, and they were big at this point, and there was maybe 4 people watching them. And I was just thinking, man, like, you know, like it's such a hard thing. If these guys have only got 4 people watching them, you know, play on an acoustic set outside their hotel, like, you know, like in my head, I'm thinking, what chance do we have? You know, like, it's tough, man. It's like I said, I envy those people that have that drive and that passion to continue on doing it. And it almost seems like they get kicked in the guts over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
100%.
Like it's so easy to get music out there these days, but to get recognised, that seems to be the hard bit. And it's like it was almost opposite to that back in the day. You know, like it was so hard to get music out there. But once you did, it was a lot easier to get recognised. Like it was, yeah. I don't know.
It was a very, very different mechanism, like you can say, because again, there's like in today's market, there's so much noise, because there's, you know, as you said yourself, everybody can record something in you know, in the study and in their bedroom. Same as here, you know, I'm sitting here in my music room at my house, you know, I'm broadcasting some shit with you, and you're sitting somewhere else in the world, and you know, people everywhere can sit and tune in. And so it's just like technology today is just accessible for everyone. Whereas back exactly back in the day, you know, like you couldn't record anything pretty much unless you had a shit ton of money or unless you were signed to a record label. So they were like the supply and demand, which is so different.
Yeah, 100%.
So different.
It's weird that you say that, because it's I think the first cassette that we ever recorded, I think we got 100 cassettes or something, man. Like, you know, and we spent a day in the studio to do that, and it was like the guy was like, "What do you want? What do you want out of this?" You know, and we were like, "Oh man, we just want to put something sick out, bro. You know, like want to do this, we want to do that." And the recording took a day, and that wasn't. You know, and so we got these cassettes, man, and it was like a straight ass recording. There was nothing was fixed. There was no engineering. There was nothing. It was like somebody shoved the mic in your guitar, and that's what you got on the cassette, bro. That was it. That's what the money bought, you know. And like, I mean, I think we paid $500 for that, and like, it's tough. Like, I mean, if you know, back then you couldn't record it and just sit on a recording. You had to produce it. You had to physically have copies in your hand that you could give to people to say, hey, listen to my band, man. Like, you know, where now you don't have the outlay of making 2,000 copies of anything. you can just say to somebody, here, listen to this, man. I'll send it to you via email, you know?
Yeah. Here's a link.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of that, I guess a lot of that layout, that cost is gone that was around back then. And I think that scared it. I think what didn't scare us, man, like, I mean, it just, I guess it puts you off because it's like, it becomes retail then, you know, like you got to buy it, hold on to it and wait to sell it, you know, before you can go and record your next one, because if you don't sell all these, you got no money to record your next one, you know. So it was, yeah, it was a different world, man. It was, you know, yeah, it was crazy. It was hard. It was very hard.
Yeah.
What it was. So, but I think too, you know, it's like I listened to that the other day, the one you did with the dude from Bordello, and you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember. You know, they were big, man. They were big on the scene. You know, like back in the day, and you know they were playing. I think we did maybe two gigs with them on the lineup as well. And they were big. You know, they were a big band, but it seemed like like he said it himself, like, you know, if you weren't liked by the Triple J was the only one. You know, if you weren't liked by them, you basically were out. You had no backup source. Like, you couldn't go on commercial radio because they wouldn't play you. And Triple J was the only one that would. You know, so if you didn't have that, you had no internet, you had no Spotify, you had nothing like that. So you had to, I guess you had to suck dick, man, to get to where you wanted to be. And for a lot of artists, you know, across the board, be it tattoos, be it music or whatever, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, you know, I mean, figure of speech, but you don't want to sell yourself short to please somebody else, because that's not you then, you know, and then it becomes a job, and then it just becomes mundane and unfun, you know. So yeah, it was hard, and I think for us too, it was too hard. Like it was just, you know, playing pubs and stuff was fun, you know, it was good fun, hang out with your mates, but I think trying to get something out beyond that was probably beyond us to be more accurate, I suppose. It was probably something we didn't know enough about to do something about it, you know. Yep. So yeah, it was different. It was different.
So after you finished the band and stuff, did you go straight into doing your fish tank business, or what was sort of the step after music?
Nah, I worked in like a stock feed type place, like animal feed, bales of hay, shit like that. I did that for a long time, man. Like, I did that for probably, I don't know, probably near 9 years, I suppose. And it was a good job, man. I had really good bosses, man. Good workmates. You know, it was a good job. We got paid well for what we did, man. We were, you know, I was literally a fish tank cleaner and dog food seller, man, and I got paid pretty well to do it, you know. So it was cool. But again, it came to the point of where, you know, like my wife was pregnant and that wasn't going to pay the bills. So then it went on to, you know, I knew a lot about fish tanks, and an opportunity came up with a guy that owed me a bit of money through some fish that I'd sold him, and he never paid for. So I sort of said to him, like, I want to buy your business off you, which was, at that point, it was just maintenance. It was just going around servicing aquariums, big ones that rich people didn't want to clean themselves. So that was where that sort of started. And then I moved into actually building them, custom making them, and doing that sort of thing, which I did I did that even while I was tattooing. I sort of was still doing that. I was working 7 days a week for about 3 years while I was tattooing as well. So
fuck.
think I did 9 years in the fish tank game, I think, roughly. But yeah, like I was saying before, man, I'd had enough, like it was, you get sick of hearing about problems and not thank yous, like the money was good, man. The money was brilliant. I didn't mind the work. The work was all right. I hated the people.
Yeah.
Like it was just, it's one of those things, like, and it gets back to what I was sort of saying before, is you find yourself selling, like you find yourself not being true to yourself, because you go to these people's houses and their opinions are totally different to your opinions, and you got to think to yourself, oh shit, this job's worth $400 a month to me, and you find yourself agreeing with shit that you don't want to agree with, and it's like it's almost I don't know, you just don't feel right about doing it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It was, I just didn't get along with. I got along with some people, like really well. Some of them were wicked, but definitely the majority were just shit, just arrogant, like you'd expect someone with a lot of money paying a fish tank cleaner to be like, like it was, they were arseholes. So, yeah,
but,
like that was it. I had a shock. Yeah, sorry.
I was about to say, but that's probably also what you could expect, from people that have too much money. Sometimes, they think, oh, I'm better than you. I've got way more money. I'm paying you to do this because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, 100%, man. It was that's exactly right. You always felt that they were looking down on you, like they were looking down their nose at you. You never felt the conversation was a equal conversation. You always felt like you were being spoken at. And that's a big thing for me, man. I don't like that, like it's, you kind of, you grow up being told to treat people how you want to be treated, and it's like, yeah, when you get spoken to like that, and you just kind of, you get over it really quick, man, and I was just over it, I just had enough. It was just, I could feel myself getting lazy as well to a point, because I was thinking, fuck, this tattooing's sick, man. I love it. I love hanging out at the tattoo studio for 3 days a week, and then come the other 4 days of the week, I'd be a miserable sack of shit, man, because I'd be thinking, oh fuck, I've got to go deal with these dickheads again, so yeah, it was, yeah, and you feel yourself getting lazy, and like, I guess looking forward to, for me, I was looking forward to those 3 days of tattooing, like, and that's what I was thinking about, and getting through. It was more of a case of just getting through the other days, like,
yeah,
just, to get to those days of tattooing where I was having fun and hanging out with my mates, so yeah, it was, yeah, it killed it for me a bit, like it killed, like, because I love fish tanks, man, and fish and coral and all that sort of shit, man, and it did kill it for me a bit, but now that I'm not doing it full time, I've got fish again, man, and the new house, man, it's got the fish tank going in there, so it's yeah, back into it now, but never again, man. Never would I go back to that. It's just hectic. So
at what point did you sort of take the leap and cut out the 4 days that you didn't like and just go full time?
When I knew I could do it, I've been very lucky, man. I've been, whether you call it luck or whether you call it something else, I think I've been very lucky in the fact that I've always had a pretty extensive waiting list. I can only remember one time in the time I've been tattooing where it's been less than a week waiting list, and it's usually around 6 weeks to get in. And so even when I was doing 3 days, it was still about 6 week wait to get in, to get tattooed with me. And I was thinking, well, if I work 2 more days a week, that wait list is still going to be 3 weeks. So as long as I can keep it there, I'll be good. Like I'll still have the same income rolling. I'll still be able to support my family and stuff like that. So it's just a case of mathematics, man. Like I said, like it got to a point of where money wasn't money wasn't what I was chasing anymore. Like fish tanks, that's what it was about for me, was money. Like it was a young family, 2 kids, mortgages, car payments, the whole lot, and it was about paying bills, and you get to a point of where you realize that you didn't have kids to not see them, and it's the money's there and you can provide them with whatever they need, the private school, the toys, the Lego, the iPads, whatever. But what's the point? If you're not seeing them, what's the point? That's kind of what really, slapped me upside the head, was like, like, why am I doing this? These boys start at 10:30 in the morning. Like I could start at 10:30 and I could drop my kids off at school, and it was just, it seemed like the right move, man. I was just at that point in my life where I was like, money's not everything, there's no point chasing it, no point having it if you're not going to enjoy it,
Exactly.
So I'd rather be on the bones of my ass poor and have a good life and have a good relationship with my family and my kids than have $1 million in the bank and be working 7 days a week, so it's just that, man. It's just, you grow up, bro. That's what it is. Grow up, and it doesn't help when you're sort of around people with a lot of money as well, because that's a big thing. You're in these multi-million-dollar houses day in, day out, and you see the life that these people are living, and it's not a jealousy thing, but you want that. You've seen it. You've seen what it is, and you're like, man, like, that's cool. Like, I could have a guy cleaning my fish tank, so, but I don't know, man. It's easy to get caught up in it. But you stand back and you look at it and you think, I could have a guy cleaning my fish tank, but that'd cost me $400 a month, and I could have this, but that'd cost me that. So it got to the point of where I kind of realized that these guys were in probably not much of a better position than me because of the amount of money they were paying other people to do their shit, So I just thought, like I said, man, you grow up, you change your mind, you have a different view on life, I guess, and it kind of slapped me upside the head when I, could start at 10:30 and finish at 6 and have a really wicked day hanging out with mates, So
yeah. And again, I think you also, like, you hit it spot on again when you said when you mentioned the fact that you could have a much better relationship with your kids. That is time you can never replace. You cannot get that back.
Honestly, man, like, that's what it was all about. Like, out working, when I was doing the fish tanks, when it was really cranking, man, at the peak of when it was really cranking, I'd be leaving home at 4:30 in the morning to go and do some restaurants down in Mandurah. And then I'd be on the freeway going to the city at 6. And, some nights I'd end up finishing back in Mandurah. And, you might be working 4:30 to, on a Tuesday night, man. I used to work till about 9 o'clock, So it was massive days, man. Like, like 70 plus hour weeks. And it was, it just wasn't fun, man. It was just,
it's exhausting, man.
It is that, and that's what it was too. Like, and I didn't know, it's funny, man. Like, just like last year, we sort of went on a holiday. Like, it was only 3 days, man, 4 days or whatever it was. But that was the longest break I'd had since 2005. And it was like, I mean, like, put that into perspective. Like, the longest break I've had is 4 days. And that's what it was like. And it's not living, man. No,
it's not, man.
It's existing is what it is, and it's like I said, it gets old. It just gets old. So
it kind of like time kind of loses its value, like, because if you're just doing it just to make money, like,
and that's it's a big thing, man. Like, I mean, it's all great if you got it, but who cares if you haven't? Like, down the beach with your kids doesn't cost a thing, man. So it's one of those things, you live within your means, man. And you know, this coronavirus bullshit that's going on now I think it's a massive test, man, for a lot of people. You know, like it's of living within their means. You know, like it's a reality check, man. It's as shit as it is. It's a big reality check that, you know, like maybe if you didn't spend, you know, $300 on takeout and junk food every week, you know, you'd be all right. You know, like, you know, and it's, yeah, I just think it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things that, yeah.
It makes you appreciate the smaller stuff. It makes you appreciate everything that's present, everything you got right in front of you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, even though I'm not working, and as much as my kids are driving me up the freaking wall, like, I'd never swap it, bro. Would never swap it for anything. You know, like, I'd much rather be here spending time than, you know, than be at work, you know, tattooing or whatever. So, yeah, it's.
Well, it's also strange times because you actually don't have a choice at the moment.
That's it. I mean, and to be honest, it's something that I would never have done if the choice had come along. Like, hey, do you want to take 4 weeks off, or do you want to go to work? You know, like, I'd be like, man, I got to earn money, bro. I got bills to pay. You know, so 100%. Something I never would have done. You know, like I was saying at the very start, man. Like, this is the first time I haven't had a job in 25 years, bro. You know, and it's like, it's strange, man. It's weird. You know, like it's weird, bro. It's weird. You almost don't know what to do with yourself. You know, like I've had a few questions. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, it's a little bit different when you're talking here over the internet, because obviously there's these tiny little lags. Every time you sort of say something, it might sound like you're interrupting. By no means I wanted to interrupt, but I was just curious. Like, are you guys going to be okay? Like, is Youngblood's gonna get out of this?
Yeah, no. Well, it's like you were saying before, like with the shop. Like, you came to the old shop. We've moved since then. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've uprooted and moved, man. So we've got the new shop, and we've got a massive rent-free period there, bro. So we really don't have any expenses at the moment. We've still got a receptionist on taking bookings and doing doing the reception work basically, which we're paying. But other than that, bro, we got nothing, man. So we're laughing, you know, like everybody's hanging out to get back to work.
Yeah.
Just to hang out and talk shit and, you know, get back in there having a good time. But yeah, no, we'll be fine, man. Pending that it doesn't go on for the next 10 years, you know, we'll be okay. So
I doubt it.
So, man, the way it's been going the last couple of days, I think we'll be sort of seeing the arse end of it pretty soon. So
it's just it still baffles me that, you know, hairdressers apparently are still allowed to operate. So how can you cut somebody's hair but you can't give somebody a tattoo?
Bro, it baffles me, man. It absolutely baffles me. Like, one of the products we use, ViraClean, has been found to be one of the chemicals that kills this coronavirus, and everything we do gets sterilized with this ViraClean. We mop the floors with birds. We do the whole lot, you know. And it's like, you know, we all tattoo. We mainly tattoo one person a day, so it's you know, with a hairdresser you might have I don't know, what do they do? Like maybe 5, 6.
You'd have you'd probably have about at least a handful, if you got a full booking, a full day.
Yeah, and we all sit on the one client, you know, all day, you know. It's like, it blows my mind, man, because we're actually classified as the same. We're in the same classification with the health department as hairdressers. So I don't know. But
I was about to say, but clearly you guys, like, it's so much more hygienic because, as you said, everything is sterilized. You're wearing latex gloves and you throw them out every time you put some new stuff, and you know, you have plastic everywhere. Everything gets thrown out after a session and stuff. It's like, what's happening, man?
That's the thing. Like, it's crazy. Like, I understand it, man. Like, I mean, I understand why it's all happened, and, you know, because we are in close contact with people, and, you know, I mean, It's all
hairdressers.
Yeah, well, that's it, bro. You know, but yeah, I don't know. I guess hairdressers getting your haircuts a necessity, eh? Who knows? Who knows?
Oh yeah, so non-essential contacts.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I don't know, man. It actually it baffles me as well. Like just that, I don't know. Like I just think those little shops probably have more numbers through their doors than what we do every day.
100%.
You know, they're not wearing gloves. They're just as close. They're probably even closer to people's faces than what we are, man. You know, so I don't know. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
So,
Well, hopefully I was about to say, hopefully it'll be all over soon, and or they're going to start loosening up the restrictions and get you guys back to work.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for everybody is just to get back to work. You know, like it's actually I think a mental thing as well. You know, like I think people are you know people that only know tattooing and that's all they've done. You know, like I think it's hard. It must be hard for them. You know, mentally to I guess be unemployed for one, and then to have that uncertainty of, you know, when everything's going to go back to normal, you know, and it's tough. I mean, that's a lot of artists, you know, I mean, are probably in that category of, you know, being, you know, where anxiety is probably a bit of an issue and, you know, things like that. And it's, you know, this wouldn't be helping that at all, you know, and I think it's the uncertainty of you know what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day and so forth. You know, that's really it's not good for people, man. You know, like it's not good for people's mental health as well as financial and everything else that it causes. You know, so it's you know it's I can you know, like people going down that rabbit hole, man. You know, of I don't know, like I don't know. It's a very strange time because I know. Like I said, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that this is all they know. This is what they do. You know, tattooing's a massive job. You know, like it's, you know, you tattoo all day. You tattoo from 10 till 6, and then you go home and you design for the next day for another 4 hours. You know, so it's for a lot of tattoo artists, it's a big old job. It's a big old day. You know, and it's when you haven't got that. And you're not having to design, and you're not having to tattoo. Like, what do you do with yourself? You know, like, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And it's. I guess it. I don't know. Like it. I don't know. I don't know. It just weirds me out a bit that. I don't know. I think of things like people's mental health and things like that of how they're going. You know, like especially people that. You know, not like myself that have kids and, you know, have a wife and stuff here that you can bounce ideas off and hang out with. But, you know, the ones where, you know, they might only be them, you know, and now they don't have tattooing, which was their outlet to hang out with the human race, you know, and interact and things like that. And now they're stuck at home with nothing to do, you know. I'm
sure there'd be a lot of people sort of battling with that, you know, sitting exactly like I said, like sitting alone at home. You know, if you don't have a partner and you know you sort of you're proper isolated, like you only can really connect with people through social media or they like do that sort of like a mechanical engagement rather than actually catching up in person. So, look, Steve, we've been chatting for about an hour and 15 minutes now. I'm curious, just so we don't go on for ages here. What does the future look like? Like, what's sort of next step for Youngbloods and the Two Shirts business?
I think for Youngbloods, man, we're pretty good where we are, bro. We're you know, we've got a wicked crew. We've got a good reputation. We've got a good name. Everybody's exceptional at what they do. So I think going forward for us, I think, who knows? I mean, it's sort of something that you throw about, like, you know, do you open up another shop, or, you know, do you just stay with the one, or, you know, do me and the boys look at something else, or, you know, I think it'll be what will be. I think, you know, I think all our crew is really solid. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. I think everybody's happy with what they are. So I think we just keep doing what we do. I think for Youngbloods, that's the way forward. You know, like,
yeah,
you know, I think we're good. You know, like once the apprentices that we've got on now qualify, I don't know that we'll take on any more for room, and just work with what we've got, man. Like we've got somebody that's great at everything in the shop. So, you know, I think going forward, man, there's you know, we'll just keep on keeping on, man. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. For me personally, same. I think I just try and just keep doing what I'm doing, man. Like I think I'm happy with what I do. Like I don't really have style, man, so I kind of do a bit of everything, which I'm happy with, man. It takes a lot of the boredom out of doing the same old thing day in, day out. I think I'll just keep being a fool, man, and talking shit, and yeah, doing what I do, man. So yeah, I think I can't really see anything much changing, man, to be honest, in the next however long. So, you know, pretty happy with the situation as it is, man. Like I say, I just hope we can get back and do it sooner rather than later, man, you know. So
yeah.
Happy.
Well, I think, didn't you do some sort of there's some stuff that people could buy? You made some coloring in books and some other stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I just made some pages, man. There was 20 pages of just designs that I'd done that I just thought might beat the boredom, you know, like, and it was a way for me to make a little bit of extra money, you know, give people something to do, and then that kind of led to, like, I think drawing's something that you can learn. I don't think necessarily you're born with it. I think it's something that you can, if you know what to do. Like I was saying before, the first stuff I did was fucking rubbish, bro. So I think, you know, with a bit of training and a bit of you know, time put in and the right sort of guidance, I think you can learn to draw. So I thought I'd just put together something that was more of the style that I do, like my little cartoony creatures and characters and things like that. I thought I'd just put together a little book of how I do it more than anything, and get that out there to show people how I do it, and maybe people can start drawing and learning how to draw some ideas, you know, like get some things together and just beat the boredom, man. Beat the boredom and just keep occupied, you know. So that was really what it was about, man. And like I said, putting a bit of extra money in my bank to put some food on the table, and that was really about all. So I was just emailing them out, man. So if people wanted them, I was literally just grabbing their email and just sending them to them that way, and they could download them onto a tablet or, you know, a computer if they wanted to color things in digitally, or they could print them off on canvases and paint them, or paper, whatever they wanted to do, really. So, you know,
yeah, awesome.
Was good. I've had a few people send me ones back that their kids have done. So I was running a little bit of a competition that, you know, like, send me the best ones, and whoever got the most votes on my page, you know, whoever got the most likes or most comments or whatever, I'll give them a free T-shirt and some stickers or something like that. So, yeah, just a bit of an incentive for kids as well, man, to, you know, get out there and try their hand at a bit of art and get creative, man, you know. So.
Yeah, awesome. I've just put your Facebook page up here. There's 2 shirts, tattoo and art. If people want to go in and order some drawing books, so I'll have a look at your very, very impressive photo gallery here with a lot of some of those funny photos of yourself in the beginning there. And yeah, and you have you've still got your house for sale.
Yeah, still do, bro. Still.
Yeah, it's tough time. Same here. Yeah, we put our house up. We had one house open just before everything went nuts.
Same with us. So.
But yeah, look, a very, very impressive gallery of as you said yourself, so many different genres as well. So there's definitely something for people to look at. Also, even if you're not into tattoos, because they are very, very impressive. Very, very impressive drawings.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I've got I think we've got. If you just want to just jump over and just have a quick look at the questions. I can see actually, yes, my mom here actually asked a question that could be very interesting for you to answer here. What was which tattoo was the first one you made on your own body?
It's a little rotten tooth on my.
All right. Why that? Why do you choose that specific one?
No idea, man.
Just had to be something.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why, to be honest, but I've got a few teeth tattooed on me now. Like I think I've got 3 all up. So yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Like teeth freak me out. Like I can't stand my kids with a wobbly tooth or anything like that, or broken teeth or anything like that. But I don't know. Something about teeth, man.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, you've obviously had quite a few tattoos done since, and I noticed you had something on your hand now as well. Is that
Got
new stuff?
Started just before all this shit went down. So
yeah.
Got to get the colour put in there, but yeah, no, I had one of the girls at the shop, Kim. She finished off my bicep on the inside and kind of bit the bullet and went for the job stopper. So I'm a official thug now, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Look, Steve, fuck, it's been awesome. It's been awesome chatting to you, man. I really hope everything goes well and the shop is coming back up and everything is gonna work out. It sounds like you've got everything sort of sorted or looked after, so that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much we can do, bro. So it's, we're stuck here until the government says otherwise, man. So it's not much you can do.
No, that's it.
Wait for the call and get back into it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Great, crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Steve, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks, brother. It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, always, man.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
No worries.
Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.